Money is great, right? Wrong. Well, I mean, it's complicated. Hello everyone, and welcome to Dungeon Bits, and stick around till the end to see 3 great ways to handle player character coppers and other currency in your TTRPGs. Also, feel free to fill the comments with your great ideas so other people can see a wealth of points of view and pick the ones that suits them the best. So, gold, dollars, caps, credits, or whatever currency your game uses is your character's quantifiable measure of how rich they are. In games where gold has a physical weight, meaning that getting the dragon's hoard worth of gold back to your house is a central gameplay feature because it's that heavy, or gold is how you measure your XP, tracking each coin is important. In other games, however, it poses a problem. Tracking each unit of currency can be very easy to mix up, get wrong, and if you're tracking each little exchange, then it's going to be very tedious and very boring. So, what if you want to use an alternative way in a game that tracks every coin to make things easier? Well, the first option forgets the tracking of coins and instead uses wealth levels. Wealth levels, put simply, is the idea that your character gains more money as they adventure, and as they get richer, they can afford more things. If an item or service that the player wants is more expensive than their current wealth level, then they can't afford it. If it's equal to their wealth level, then they can buy it, but their wealth level decreases. And if it's less than their wealth level, then you can just buy it. The perfect example of this is a tavern scene. Are they having fun role-playing their victory drink with a round of ales? Great! So instead of sitting there like an auditor with a clipboard, tracking their individual drinks on their tab, you can just assume that the players who can buy a magic item can probably also afford a pint. And if you're concerned about how the math works, you can just follow Call of Cthulhu's footsteps and say that each wealth level increases exponentially. In Call of Cthulhu, a character with 80% wealth isn't 3/10 more rich than someone with 50%, because it goes up exponentially. It's not a line, it's an exponential curve. Who said maths can't be sexy? Using this method, you can skip the admin and just focus on the stuff that you want and need. And speaking of which, wouldn't it be cool if your game actually focused on that stuff from a setting and trading point of view? Well, let's talk about bartering. Forget caps. This method is perfect for apocalyptic settings where the exchange of money means nothing anymore. But hang on, if there is no currency like at all, not even implied, then how do you purchase stuff? Well, in the same way that we did with Pokemon cards as kids. Trade. I'm currently making a cutesy game where you play as monsters after the fall of humanoids, and in that setting, these shiny little discs that humanoids used must have been some kind of fad game, like Pogs. Instead, the currency to trade with is usefulness. Food and items to help you survive, so you can get more food, is the end goal of all goals. So, usefulness is the currency of the land. As a result, the comparable currency is grubs. Not the insect, but the single meal. So, a trade idea comes into effect when you ask, how many meals would I be willing to give up to buy this item? That is its cost. And yes, I know what you're gonna say. This is just how currency came about. But, even without the attached setting, in your game you can have players trade items for others. So instead of the confusing Scrabble for counting up gold, they just pick up gems, water filters, clean boots, or whatever else is useful, and trade them for those that they actually want. In my current game, my players were incredibly rich after helping out a dragon, but after the villain plunged my world into an apocalyptic scenario, the players were forced to resort to barter, as shopkeepers wouldn't take gold anymore, because you can't eat gold. Not without want of trying. Gold's purpose is that it buys stuff, like items, food, etc. So, barter in your games makes things easier by cutting out the middleman. So, we have levels of wealth and trade. Building wealth so you outgrow lesser expenses, and having there be a currency but it's more chunked together as single items. And this last method is a question for you. What is money for? In our real world, we know why. But in your game, this answer might be unique, but mostly though, money is for you to buy things, important things, things you want and need, like gear, items, armor, and vehicles. So why have money at all if its purpose is for the things that you buy? It's basically just there to become the things that you want. Come with me on this. What if in your game your players didn't have to track money at all? Instead, when they explore a dungeon, loot a body, or take the hoard, you don't even mention money. Your adventuring party is assumed to pick up money so that they can eat tonight. So don't even mention money and instead just say whether or not there is a useful item. If money is for getting items that you could just find, then just have the players find it. If they need a cart, then when they help out roaming traders, there is a cart that the living remaining traders won't be needing, so you guys might as well have it. But what about buying stuff? Well, if you walk into a store, you can just say, the item is wildly expensive, and right now, you can't afford to buy it and pay to eat and live. But the trader says that maybe they would be willing to part with it if you do something instead. If your game is about adventuring and money is for buying stuff to help you adventure, then why not have the players earn things they need for adventuring by adventuring? That's simple game loop stuff. Levels of wealth, trade, and adventuring is how you get the things that you want, not gold. And if you got this far and still think, I'm just going to track coins, that's totally fine, but I hope that by watching this video, it made you question the need for this little aspect of your game, so you can start critically assessing the need for everything else. Real game design thinking. I'm Ellis, and if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment, or even share the video. Any support you can give helps me out a bunch. Also, click the video on screen to see 3 alternate rewards to give your players to spice up the usual money and magic items routine. I love you all, and I'll see you next Saturday.